Welcome to the award-winning Real Estate Mortgage Shop, where home buyers, homeowners, and investors get practical mortgage and real estate insight straight from the pros with your host, Joe Garner.
Good morning, Memphis, and welcome to our internet listeners and podcast listeners across the 50 states. Today is May 9th, 2026, and I'm your host of Real Estate Mortgage Shop. I'm Joe Garner. I'm a mortgage loan originator. Connect with me today at jogarner.com. Oh, we got a good topic today. It is home mortgage approval roadblocks, how to overcome home repair and financing challenges. Thank you to real estate attorneys Shelley Rothman and Rob Drawn of Griffin, Clift, Everton, and Mashmeyer Law Firm for your sponsorship of Real Estate Mortgage Shop. For your real estate purchase or refinance closings, call Rob and Shelley at 901-752-1133. And back in
Welcome
the studio,
to the award-winning Real Estate Mortgage Shop, where home...
He is an expert roofer, Ed Hill, senior consultant with Masters Roofing in Memphis. Check out his roofing showroom in Bartlett and check out his podcast at memphishomemaintenanceshow.podbean.com. Ed Hill is a roofing expert of excellence, a resource for you or someone you know. Ed, take a minute and tell us a little bit about yourself and the services you offer.
Well, thank you so much, Joe, for that great introduction. Like you said earlier, I'm getting a reputation all over town, but I'm trying to overcome that. All right, so anyway, if you're out there today and you probably live under a roof somewhere,
hopefully,
you may have leaks or you may wondering what's going on with my roof or my exterior. I'm the guy you can call. You know, we'll just talk about it. We'll start out with a discussion. It may involve an inspection, but I'm here to help you get past the paralysis of analysis.
Yes.
And so is Joe, you know, in her field. So, yeah, reach out to me after today's program at 901-273-6594. But we do roofing, Joe. We do gutter systems, vinyl window replacement, wood rot repair. We are the kings of wood rot.
Oh, wow.
Memphis. Absolutely. A lot of companies don't want to touch it, but we'll actually repair that for you.
Claim to fame.
Yep.
And you do you do exterior repairs.
Yep. Even including painting, like exteriors. And we do a little bit of interior painting and a little bit of drywall too. Okay.
Well, Ed, have you ever had your GPS take you to the wrong place?
Absolutely. It took me to a dead end this week, Joe.
You were lucky because I've heard stories of places that GPS
driving
took
into
people
canals. In Holland, the guy drove into a canal.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. Well, getting approved for your mortgage is a lot like using GPS on a road trip. Now, sometimes there's construction, there's traffic, maybe a closed road ahead, but a good mortgage officer doesn't just tell you, you can't get there. We reroute the path so that you can still arrive at your correct destination, your new home. And sometimes the GPS offers you alternative routes. And here are some common roadblocks, and we're going to talk about taking a different perspective and solving to get over those roadblocks. And here they are. Money to close. Number 2, I don't have enough qualified income, Joe. I make plenty of income, but all of it's not qualified. Number 3, credit challenges. Number 4, property issues with the appraisal or the title. Now, over my 30-plus years as a mortgage officer, I've been impressed with methods used by real estate attorneys to fix title issues. But let's talk about property appraisal issues. Appraisers if they notate repairs that affect the structure, security, or sanitation of the home, guess what? These mortgage companies, if they see that, if you're on a traditional mortgage especially, mortgage underwriters are compelled to want those done before you close, which can put you in a catch-22.
Right.
And, there are ways to get around it. Here's some repairs. Some of them fall under your category, Ed. Rotted wood, roof problems.
Right.
Missing components or non-functional electrical, plumbing, or heating and air systems. Drainage problems, mold, broken glass, foundation problems, unsecured doors and locks. When the repairs have to be fixed before closing, the buyer and the seller negotiate usually who's going to pay for which repairs. If the buyer pays, the mortgage company is going to have to verify the borrower's asset accounts to show that they've got enough money verified to make those repairs. If the seller pays, then he or she cannot pay the buyer a repair allowance. So let me say that again, because back a long time ago, sellers would go, well, you don't like the carpet, you want to fix something that doesn't have to be fixed. Here, I'm just going to give you money at closing to do that. Well, you can't, on traditional mortgages, you can't do that anymore.
Wow.
So there's ways around it. Like I had one this week where the sellers hadn't been paid. They weren't going to pay any closing costs, but boy, there was a repair that wasn't required to be done before closing. It wasn't required to be done at all, but the buyer wanted it done, and she had a good point. So what they did was they said, well, look, we're just going to pay, $3,000 toward your closing cost, which is fine. She was happy. It reduced her money to close at closing. It wasn't a repair allowance. There's ways, if you look at it from a different angle, there are ways to get over these roadblocks. Sometimes the seller or the buyer will just put money in escrow to if it can't be done before closing, like, windows are on order or it's raining and there's sod that needs to be put out or
yes.
something. But anyway, if the person getting the home purchase loan or refinance knows about the repairs and wants to get the mortgage done anyway, it's good news if the mortgage underwriting software doesn't even require an appraisal. More and more of them today don't even require an appraisal if the data is in place for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac that says, hey, this value is well within the guidelines for this neighborhood. Well, if you're okay with the house, you've had it inspected, that's good news. And we try to do that as often as possible to avoid the repairs having to be done. But several possible solutions. Low appraisal value is another roadblock, and you call me if you have that situation. I have some solutions for you that I think will work. But Ed Hill of Masters Roofing, you help your clients with roof repairs and replacements and exterior repairs. What are some common problems that you see your customers encounter?
Well, Joe, according to research, it was shared with me yesterday. Among the most asked questions by homeowners and business owners is whether to repair or whether to replace old, worn, or damaged roofs and exteriors. And, what makes the best sense when it comes to dollars and cents spent on roofing and exteriors? So rather than try to guess what our listeners' exact problem is and how to fix it, I have some questions that as you answer these questions, that paralysis of analysis will be solved. Maybe not right away, but it'll become clear to you. And if you need help, you can call me and I'll help you with that. So what are we talking about? Well, here they are. These are helpful questions. What is the normal life expectancy of the materials? And a simple one is this. If you have an old-fashioned flat 3-tab roof, those are, in a good environment, those are 25 years. And architectural is supposed to be 30 years. But people, this is Memphis, Tennessee. We have 2 seasons, really cold and really hot.
And then we have 4 seasons in 2 weeks, in a week's time.
That can happen too. And that affects the life of these shingles. So if you're saying, well, it's been on here about 25 years, hey, come on, you're getting near the end of life on that material. And it'd be true for other kinds of things as well, gutter systems and siding and so on. Second question, how long has that material been installed on the roof and exterior? If you have to go back, well, Aunt Sally married, if you got to do that to figure out it's old, you need to get it off of your, if it's siding, get it off the house or a roof or whatever. It's probably not repairable. Third question is, what is the cost of each material needed to repair versus to replace? Many times you'll find that a repair is easily doable and makes financial sense. Other times it may be such an involved repair, just invest that same money in replacing let's say the exterior of the home, or the part that's damaged at least.
Right.
Because you'll be happier in the long run.
Well, keep going. You're doing good.
Okay, one more question. Who is available as an experienced contractor to perform the work? Now, if you're saying that you're going to do it yourself, if you've done this kind of stuff before and you're pretty decent at it, knock yourself out. I mean, not literally, but,
Yeah.
You probably can do it.
Right.
But if it's your cousin Vinny,
Uh-oh.
you might want to call a contractor.
Yeah.
And it's better that somebody learn how to do it on somebody else's house, not your house. So it just depends a lot. And we can talk about your particular situation. Yeah. But those are some good guidelines.
Yeah. And, our insurance sponsors, Lynn and Troy McDonald, they say, don't just hire Chuck in a truck to go over there and get in on your roof, because if something happens to them, they get hurt, guess what? The liability could fall back on you. But if you hire a bonded company, a insured company like yours, then your liability is less.
Has to carry workers' comp.
Well, you're on Real Estate Mortgage Shop. I'm Joe Garner, your host. I'm a mortgage officer. I can help you with a home purchase loan, or sometimes a refinance in the Mid-South or anywhere in the country. And what do you want to accomplish with your mortgage? We're going to talk more about how to get over roadblocks and what you can do to make the process easy. Connect with me at jogarner.com. When we come back, we're going to be talking and hearing more from Ed Hill of Masters Roofing. How do we contact you, Ed?
901-273-6594.
All right, more to come. Stay tuned. We'll see you guys back in just a moment.
Real Estate Mortgage Shop provides general information, not an offer to lend. Joe Garner, Talk Shop Real Estate Mortgage Shop, does not endorse 100% of the information covered on Real Estate Mortgage Shop. Consult with your certified advisors before acting on any information given on Real Estate Mortgage Shop. Joe Garner is a licensed mortgage loan officer, NMLS 757308, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Hi, I'm Brandy Spicer with Howling Wolf Bookkeeping. You're listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shop. And now back to your host, Joe Garner.
Okay, are you guys ready for comic queries? Let's see if you can take this conundrum and look at it from a different perspective and answer this riddle. It's called the locked car. A man is locked in a car with no way that he can see to escape. All the doors are locked, the windows are up, and there's no sunroof. Yet after some time, he was able to leave the car just easily. So, Ed, how did he leave the car easily?
Well, Joe, this is so simple. Even I could have got this. The car is a convertible.
Oh, yes, you're so right.
And
ding,
the man
ding.
simply put the roof down. But Joe, that will be a great example of what we're talking about today, of looking for a solution from a different angle.
That's right. Anything, whether it's real estate or not, All right, well, today on Real Estate Mortgage Shop, we're talking about home mortgage approval roadblocks, how to overcome home repair and financing challenges. I'm your host, Joe Garner. I'm a mortgage officer. I want to be your mortgage loan officer. I can help you find the right product, and we can make that process so easy, and we'd love to work with you on a traditional mortgage special program, or maybe even an outside-of-the-box mortgage. Connect with me at jogarner.com. We have Ed Hill of Masters Roofing in the house. Ed, how do we contact you?
Just call me directly, 901-273-6594.
Well, when we left off, you were covering some common issues, trying to determine whether to repair or replace.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to help our listeners get past that paralysis of analysis, Joe. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes if you can't decide, you don't do anything and the problem gets worse. Mm-hmm. I've personally had that happen on my home. Mm-hmm. So that's how I've learned that.
Well, I know roadblocks in the roofing area from the mortgage desk is people say, well, I need to get my roof fixed, but I don't have the money.
Yeah. All right. So here's a question that I often ask people. How long will the home or business need to be maintained? And by that, I mean, if they know for sure they're selling the house and moving to the coast of Florida within 5 years, that changes the dynamic a little bit on what they might want to do, repair versus replace.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So it's important to know that. No, we're planning to move to a different business location within 4 years. All right, that changes that dynamic, that answer.
Right.
Number 6, where will the funding come from to repair versus to replace? And
yes, that's where I see people come in my office.
And I see this all the time, Joe, where I don't have the money. Yeah, well, there's ways to get it. You got to think about that car joke we did a minute ago. Let's make it a convertible, and we'll get out of this thing.
Really?
And we'll see how to figure this out.
That's right.
But the thing I stress to people, because we have payment plans too, Joe, even
Yes.
on repairs.
Yes.
And they just need to know how they're going to get the money, and not really how they're going to get it. They need the help of a contractor who has these plans.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty of it is you may know that you're getting X amount of money within a year or 2 years from some, I don't know, policy or something you have or investment you have, let's say. Just use the payment plan the contractor has right now to solve the problem now.
Today. Right.
And then you can pay it off, because with the one we have, there's no early payoff penalty, which is great. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you could always have Joe help you find a way to get more favorable terms, pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. So think of that contractor financing, and we don't make money on that, Joe. In our case, it's only a way for people to move forward on that repair
quickly.
Or that replacement quickly.
Right.
Instead of feeling paralyzed, because that's a frustrating way to feel about your home or business. When it just needs to be taken care of, and we can help you do that.
Yes, and even sellers sometimes are like, well, I could sell my house for a lot more if I could just get the roof fixed, but Joe, I don't have the money to get the roof fixed until I sell the house. Well, you come in with this bridge loan kind of thing, this temporary fix today. They can get the roof fixed, maybe get a lot more on the house price than they originally could, and they're happy. The buyers are happy because they don't have to replace the roof when they buy it, and everybody's happy, Ed.
Well, there you go. One more good question is this: what approval may be needed to authorize repairs versus replacement? And what I had in mind on this question is if you live in an HOA-controlled subdivision, let's say, you need to know, and you can run into this where you do a repair, and then you're going to find out from the powers that be, which have every right to do that, by the way, because when you signed to buy a house in there, you were legally notified that you are entering an HOA.
Right.
You can't just do whatever you want. You can try, but they can also say, hey, that's hideous.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you spent the money on a repair that's not going to be acceptable, and the HOAs have teeth, Joe. Did you know that?
I do, believe me.
And people can complain about it and be angry about it all you want. But if it gets taken before a judge, guess who's going to win that?
I have actually seen that happen to people. And I two people that I know in my 30 years in this business actually got foreclosed because they refused to pay their HOA, and they lost their house.
Yeah. Joe, I actually did a roof for somebody who had an insurance claim. Beautiful roof. But while we're doing it, HOA pulls up, says you got to stop immediately.
HOA is a homeowners association.
Yeah. And we said, well, we're not going to stop because the roof's off. We're going to finish it, and you guys figure it out. So we built a house, but the person, this is not in Memphis, but the person did not check with the HOA as we discussed that they do.
Right.
And they picked a different color. The crew could not understand, Joe, why we went back the very next week and tore off the brand new roof paid for by insurance and put on the correct color.
Paid by the borrower, paid by the homeowner.
Paid by the person who owned the home. Yeah. True story.
Wow.
We went to bat for them, and the HOA said, no, we're not backing down.
Wow.
Wow.
Big wow. Well, you're on Real Estate Mortgage Shop. I'm Joe Garner, your host. I'm a mortgage officer. I want to be yours. Call me today. Connect with me online, too, at jogarner.com, 901-482-0354, 901-482-0354. And Ed Hill's in the house with Masters Roofing. And Ed, how is the number one best way to contact you, sir?
Cell phone, 901-273-6594.
Okay, well, we've got more. I've got some stories to share with you and some really good, really brilliant things that some of my clients have done to get over common roadblocks to their mortgage approval. So stay tuned. And if you have to go somewhere and you can't listen the rest of the show, catch us on our podcast at jogarner.com. But we'll see you guys back in just a moment.
You're listening to mortgage expert Joe Garner, author of Choosing the Best Mortgage, The Quickest Way to the Life You Want. And she has a golden nugget from her book. You can order Joe's book on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Hey, Joe, you talk about treasure hunting in your book. Can you tell us what that is?
Treasure hunting from funds to close. There's still 100% loan programs out there, down payment assistance, gifts from family, cash value on life insurance, and lots of ways that you can find money you didn't know you had.
Order the book today. You'll be glad you did.
This is Santa Claus from the North Pole. You're listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shop. Now back to your host, Joe Garner.
Okay. Did you know? Now, this has something to do with Memphis. And Ed, I believe you have our Did You Know question and some hints.
In fact, I do, Joe. All right. What is the name of this Memphis man from the early 1900s that looked at grocery shopping from a different perspective? All right, so here's some hints. First one. Instead of asking how to build a bigger store and hire more order takers, he asked how to create a system so individual shoppers could walk the aisles and select their own goods. Number two, this man broke the traditional shopping model and created the foundation for the modern supermarket.
I know who it is, and I know some of our listeners do too. If you've ever been to the Pink Palace, I think now it's the Memphis Science whatever, but it's the Pink Palace to me, Ed.
Yeah, everybody knows where that is.
Clarence Saunders. And his first self-service grocery store was Piggly Wiggly that opened on September 6, 1916. That was a long time ago. Woo! Well, and today on Real Estate Mortgage Shop, we're talking about home mortgage approval roadblocks, how to repair and overcome challenges. And that music, by the way, was from Alan McCool, who's a real estate appraiser and a brilliant musician here in Memphis. Check out his stuff.
Alan McCool writes cool music.
He does. AlanMcCool.com. Check it out. But anyway, we're on Real Estate Mortgage Shop today. Home mortgage approval roadblocks, how to repair and overcome challenges. I'm your host, Joe Garner. I'm a mortgage officer for your home purchase, or sometimes you may want to do a refinance. Connect with me at jogarner.com. We can find the right product and make the process easy. And we have Ed Hill. He is with Masters Roofing in Memphis. And Ed, how do we contact you?
901-273-6594.
Okay. Well, let's talk about top mortgage approval challenges in 2026. We've already talked about challenges with a low appraisal, and I told you to call me on that because there are some ways, but you have to go through a certain method because of the federal lending laws on trying to get corrections done to get the low appraisal up.
Yeah.
We talked about funding repairs, how to do it, and now I want to talk about I don't have enough money to close. Well, that could be a challenge.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Well, a study a few years ago showed that 90% of the people who said on a survey that they didn't have enough money to close, those same people thought that the minimum down payment to buy a house was 20%.
Nobody has that.
Very few. Well, most of my first-time homebuyer mortgage customers get into the home with move-in costs less than 5% and sometimes $0 because there are low down payment loans, traditional loans, 5%, 3.5%. And there are 100% loans out there if you meet qualifications. There's down payment assistance programs out there. There's even combinations of loan products that you can put together, and I know how to do it. But let's explore some zero
Wait a minute,
down.
Joe. I want to clarify something.
Mm-hmm.
For people to get in their own home, they don't have to know how to do it.
Nope.
They could actually say, I don't even want to know how to do it.
This is true.
I want you to do it for me. Can you help them with that?
I can. And let me say this. I've even helped investors get in for zero that aren't even going to occupy. Now, most of those programs do require 20% or more down on investment property if you're buying to rent it out to tenants. But there are ways to structure financing to still get in without having to use your own money.
Okay.
All right. Good point. So, but first-time home buyers have a lot, even more options to get in with down payment assistance. And let me say this, if you're not a first-time home buyer, there's down payment assistance for you too. So don't let that be a challenge. So the question isn't, how do I get 20% down? Look at it from a different perspective. A better question to ask yourself would be, what other loan programs or assistance programs can get me into the home with little or zero down?
Okay.
That will solve the problem. Here's another one, credit issues. Well, Joe, I had some things. Life happens. Let me just say, life happens and things happen to your credit. And sometimes it's really by no fault of your own. But a low credit score will cost you money, or it will cost you getting the loan. So listen up. I'm going to give you a story, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about how they fixed their challenge. I'm going to tell you about Sam and Sally Smith. They're newly married. Hey, they're expecting their first child. They're so excited. But they're saddled up with student loan debt. Sam was, that had kept them strapped for cash, and they were just crammed into this little apartment they were renting, and it wasn't large enough for their expanding family. So Sam, he told me, he said, I regret my carefree days. I was in college. I was charging up credit cards that he accepted in the mail, and it was so easy to use them, even for necessary items. But a few missed payments and a collection account tanked Sam's scores. So when Sam tried to get credit to buy a car, he needed the car to go to work.
Right.
Reality just slapped him in the face because he got denied, Ed, because his credit was not good. It was time for Sam to make a plan, stick to a plan, and get his credit back working for him, not against him.
Right.
Well, his wife, Sally, her story was totally different. She had stayed away from credit altogether. She didn't even have a credit score at all. Her income was too low to just try to qualify with her. But so the plan was to build her credit and make Sam's credit better. Well, anyway, here's a short story on this. We needed to improve Sam's credit. It was around the 565 mark. He needed to be at least at 640 to get the program he wanted. And he was even with that, he was still paying more for the credit.
Right.
But what we did was he had paid off the past due stuff. He just had maxed out his credit cards. So we had him on a plan to pay those credit cards down to where he was showing he was owing less than 50%, and on some of them less than 25%. That boosted his scores a lot. I mean, that got him pretty much close to where he needed to be. And Sally, it was easy. Her parents had this old credit card, Ed, that didn't have a huge balance on it. They didn't use a whole lot of the credit on that, and they make the payments on time. They just put her on as an authorized user, and that credit card company started reporting on Sally's credit, and boom, she had credit. Boom. I mean, like within 30 or 45 days. Yeah. Sometimes, though, you have other things that are more convoluted than their situation. Sam, another thing he did, and a lot of my clients do, he got a secured credit card. And some of my clients, if they don't have any credit or they had bad credit that they've started to pay down and pay off, they'll get a secured credit card, maybe put up $300, and they'll have a $250 credit limit. Okay. And I tell them, I say, never borrow more than $25. Never let that balance go over $25. 10% of that $250 credit line. Well, how do I do that? well, you put the card in the glove compartment and you put gas in the car, $20, and then you make the payment each month, the full payment, and go put another 20 in the gas tank. Little things like that and more that you can do to really boost your scores pretty quickly. But anyway, to our listeners, your credit background might be different than Sam or Sally's, but if you declared full bankruptcy due to extenuating circumstances that lowers your income and it's been discharged for over 2 years, you may be able to still get a mortgage to buy a home. Don't let that be a roadblock. If you had a home foreclosed, you may have a second chance at getting a mortgage after 3 years from the completion of that foreclosure if you've reestablished good credit. There's a whole lot more in there. You can get my book, Choosing the Best Mortgage, The Quickest Way to the Life You Want. It'll go into a whole lot more detail. But for right now, today, let's do a soft pull credit. It won't hurt your credit score. Let's see what you can do today to get around the credit roadblock. Not enough qualified income. Oh my gosh, that's another barrier. People are carrying higher car payments today, credit card balances, student loans. Buy now, pay later debt will kill you. I'm telling you, on the score, buy now or pay later debt. Just stay away from it.
But it's so easy.
Yep. Many borrowers earn good income, but they still struggle because of these high monthly payments. Your income, if you can pay down your credit cards, like I said in that other story, consult with your mortgage officer, but don't run out and pay off your bills and then come to the loan officer, because there's strategy you can use that will spend a lot less of your money and kick your scores up a lot higher if you'll just do what the mortgage officer says. And I can help you with that. I know how that credit system works. And as a licensed mortgage officer, I can help you with possible adjustments or rearrangements to some of your other debt to help you. But if you're self-employed and you've been turned down because the bank says you don't show enough income on your tax returns, I've got other methods that calculate your income. Don't let that be a roadblock. Asset depletion loans, bank statement loans. There's just numerous solutions. Contact me, 901-482-0354. But you're listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shop, and I'm your host, Joe Garner. I'm a mortgage loan officer for your home purchase, refinance here in the Mid-South or anywhere in the country. Connect with me at jogarner.com. We have Ed Hill of Masters Roofing, who can solve problems, get you over roadblocks for roofing and exterior repairs. How do we contact you, Ed?
901-273-6594.
More to come. Stay tuned, and thank you for listening. We'll see you guys back in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Rob Drawn.
And I'm Shelley Rothman of Griffin, Clift, Everton, and Mashmeyer Law Firm in Memphis, Tennessee.
You're listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shop.
And now back to your host, Joe Garner.
For our insights and inspiration story, I call this story Asking the Right Questions, a Different Perspective. This famous man, born 1879, he lived until 1955, was a German-born theoretical physicist who revolutionized scientific theory and won the 1921 Nobel Prize in Physics. A pacifist, intellectual giant, he fled Nazi Germany for the U.S., later advising against nuclear arms and declining the presidency of Israel. Who is this guy? This brilliant man developed the world's most famous equation, demonstrating that mass and energy are interchangeable. He solved conundrums and broke through scientific barriers by changing the perspective and asking different questions. Let's apply some wisdom today from the great Albert Einstein, who gave us the theory of relativity. Albert Einstein allegedly stated, "If I had an hour to solve a problem and my life depended on the solution, I would spend the first 55 minutes determining the proper question to ask. For once I know the proper question, I could solve the problem in less than 5 minutes." He also advised we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. What kind of roadblocks is life throwing in your path? Take some advice from Einstein. Change your perspective. Change the questions you ask yourself to discover your way around or through the roadblock. Today on Real Estate Mortgage Shop, we're talking about home mortgage approval roadblocks, how to overcome home repair and financing challenges. I'm your host, Joe Garner. I'm a mortgage officer for your home purchase or your refinance that you can brag about. We can find the right mortgage product and make that process easy on a traditional mortgage, special program, maybe an outside-of-the-box mortgage that is just perfect for you. Connect with me today at jogarner.com. Ed Hill of Masters Roofing is another problem solver. And Ed, how do we contact you?
901-273-6594.
Ed, it's time for a real estate tip of the week. I believe you have one.
Yes, if you are trying to sell your home, you'd be surprised how much difference getting rid of the wood rot makes on people being interested in your home.
This is true.
And it's more affordable and it's simpler than you imagine. And even if it's a lot, we can find ways where you have the money now and can get better terms later,
right.
with Joe's help.
Right.
That's what I would advise if you're trying to sell your home. Do a little investment on the outside now on the curb appeal side. It might be pressure washing, cleaning up some rough-looking concrete. Joe and I know a wide variety of tradespeople that can help you get your home ready to sell.
We do, and I have a tip also, and this has happened so many times. I've had people they have retirement income. Right. But, they just take it whenever they need it. They'll take a lump sum here and a lump sum there, and but their steady retirement income is not enough to qualify for the mortgage they want when they go buy that final home, their dream home. Well, they're like, but we take these distributions here and there. We just don't do it regularly. And now we don't want to take all of that money out of where it's making money to have to make a larger down payment to qualify. I'm like, this is an easy solution. Just set up, at least initially, you can always change it, in a month or two or three or however, but set it up that distribution comes as an annuity. We'll get a letter from your investor,
okay.
And now you can have the terms you want and just go right on. There's no roadblock there. So that's my tip. Talk to me about it. I can tell you about how some of my clients have brilliantly done this. But I want to say thank you to our sponsors, and one of our big sponsors is TalkShop. TalkShop offers free networking and education to anyone interested in real estate, business, health, and wellness. They have a meeting every Wednesday, 9 o'clock a.m. Central, over at Independent Planning Group's conference room, number 110 at Clark Tower, 5100 Poplar Avenue, first floor, Memphis. Thank you to Ben Hunter. He's an outstanding financial professional at Independent Planning Group for being TalkShop's location sponsor. And this Wednesday, May 20th, 2026, 9 a.m., this is online and in person, you can attend, Capturing Life Stories Before They're Lost by Andrea Wills Bunce, author of Memoirs by Family Books. And this is a health talk. It's powered by Mary Lou Novak of ResourceForCare.com, sponsored by Tim Fleschner and Janelle Holloway of Mid-South Home Helpers, and, of course, hosted by TalkShop. Find out more about locations, events, and all that at talkshoppe.com. Thank you to Peggy Lau. She's a retired U.S. Navy line commander and representative of Viago Travel. Do you want to make great memories with your loved ones experiencing first-class vacations at bargain prices? Contact Peggy Lau. She can show you how. 901-289-0747. Thank you to Donna Roach of Harside Senior Living in Bartlett, Tennessee, for your contributions to our healthcare and business communities through your contributions to TalkShop. If you're exploring the best options for your loved one to move to a place where they can get assistance and help, talk with Donna Roach. She's a wealth of information and resources. 901-651-2503. Make your plan. Let's work your plan if the deal works for you today. Let's do it today. Subscribe. You'll get our weekly Real Estate Mortgage Shop podcast with show notes. Ed and I'll throw some pictures in there for you. jogarner.com. All right, so our quote from the quote corner is from Albert Einstein. You can't solve your problems with the same thinking that you used when you created them. Think from a different perspective and ask different questions.
There you go. Joe, when people are looking at their roof and their exterior, unless they're experienced, it's scary. And you need help.
You do. And the thing is, back to this different perspective, sometimes it's not your perspective. Sometimes it's bringing in, we'll use the real estate industry, for instance. Maybe it's bringing in a realtor or two to look at your house and give you an opinion about what can you do to sell it for a higher price, or what can you do to solve a problem there. Mortgage officers, there's a lot of great ones out there. I would love to be your loan officer, jogarner.com. I will take care of you. And we can also see from a different perspective on what options may be available for financing that you don't know about. Roofing improvements, the same thing, Ed.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I look at a problem and they think, how will we ever solve this? And I think, I solved it 3 times last week.
Right, exactly.
I know exactly how to solve it.
Just ask, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank our listeners for tuning in and listening to us today and all the other times that you do that. And I want to encourage you, subscribe. We want to stay in touch with you, jogarner.com. But thank you for listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shop. I'm Joe Garner. I'm a mortgage officer. Would love to be yours, jogarner.com. Ed Hill is in the house. He's with Masters Roofing. Ed, how do we contact you?
Just call me 901-273-6594.
And we're looking forward to seeing you guys back next week.